In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Tyox series camera, or 3-in-1 camera. This camera is part of the Active Deterrence series, which allows for an audio-visual warning. It does use smart dual illuminators, which can be white light, infrared, or a combination of both. We'll be looking at the PTZ 4M25X. This is a 4 megapixel camera, and it comes in a 4K or 8 megapixel. It does have a 25x optical zoom. It is Starlight technology, auto tracking 3.0 that works very well, face detection, smart motion detection 4.0, and is an IP66 rated camera. After you log into the main menu, you can see the different modules that are available. If we go to the live view, you can see under our PTZ control, we're able to control the PTZ. Or the 3D positioning button in the center. When you click on the 3D positioning button, you can draw a square and it will zoom in to that area. If you draw the square backwards, it will zoom out. Up on the top, you can manually trigger the warning lights. You also can do this on your DMSS phone app if you have it linked to that. You also can set off the siren or whatever alarm that you have set in the camera. You can take a snapshot. We also have the microphone where you can talk to the camera. We're not going to spend too much time on the modules, but we'll scroll through the other items. To start with, we'll go to the PTZ module. The PTZ module will allow you to set your presets, and a preset must be set before you can configure the AI functions for the IVS rules. You can see we already have a preset loaded into the camera. If I wanted to change this and make this my preset area, I can just press apply. I could add another preset by just pressing add preset. It sets the preset, and I can apply that for preset number 2. And this module is also where you can set up your tour group. A tour group is when you take a tour to the different presets for a specific amount of time. You can set a scan, pattern, pan. You can also set the PTZ speed, the idle motion. This is a handy feature, so if you move the PTZ camera to a position and then have to get up and leave, you can set this so it'll go back to a preset after a certain amount of time. The power up button, you can select this where you'd like the camera to go after a power loss, and it powers back up. We have a PTZ rotation limit. Let's say I didn't want to go all the way to the house, or I wanted to set limits. This is where you can do that. You can see I am locked in at the -5. If I wanted to, I could set this to -15 and be able to tilt the camera up even higher. Scheduled tasks you can perform here, and the PTZ maintenance you could restart the camera if needed. Now that we have our presets set, we'll close this module and go into the AI section. The AI section will allow us to set our tripwires. In our AI module, we'll set our IVS rules for a preset. We'll select preset 1. In this case, I'll turn on the IVS tripwires. I'll press next, and then I'll click on the IVS and configure the rule. I'll add a rule. In this case, I'll do tripwire. You can see the different items that you can select. You can see it says draw graphics. So I'll start drawing my tripwires across the driveway or wherever I want them. I find that the zigzag pattern works the best. and you can play with these and see what works best for your situation. So I draw the rule, I right click to let go of the line. I'll turn up my tracking. I'll come to the bottom and press apply. You can see the different settings down here for the alarms. You can change your alarms to what you prefer, and we'll go over these momentarily. You can play it up to 3 times, and you also can enable the warning lights, and you can have it blink or flicker 30 seconds. We'll press apply, and now you can see that our IVS for the tripwires is set for this preset. If I want to do the other preset, I would select preset 2 and set this as well. I could have preset 2 set as face detection or another IVS rule. We'll close the AI module and go into the camera settings. The camera setting, you have self-adaptive or customized scene. For the day-night profiles, you can see that there is a drop-down that allows you to set your day and night profiles. For the time schedule, to adjust this, you grab a hold of the time and you can adjust. Let's say I wanted nighttime. I would put my nighttime in. And again, these are sliders. You can adjust them accordingly to the month and the hour. I have found that the day-night settings for me, I do not need to change, because when it is in auto, it goes into the infrared or the smart illumination on its own. It would be helpful if you had some street lights that you needed to turn on highlight compensations to compensate for a nighttime shiny image. You also can adjust exposure. Backlight, again, this is handy if you needed to turn on the highlight compensation for a nighttime glare. For me, the day-night setting in auto works just fine. The focus and zoom, if you wanted to turn on your digital zoom, you could do it here and adjust your zoom speed. The illuminator, this is what I have been using to test this camera out with. You can see I have it set into the IR mode. You have a white light, which would constantly keep the white light on. The smart illumination uses a combination of the IR mode and the white light together. I like to use the IR mode. Under the encode, this is where you can set your H.265 codec or the H.264H. Your mainstream is going to be what you generally record on. Under overlay, this is where you can set masking up. You can change the name of the camera. You can put your day of the week for the time, and you can move these around by grabbing a hold of the time and setting them where you like and pressing apply. On-screen display info. Properties, picture overlay if you wanted a custom title, etc. The region of interest. I don't use this feature, but if you had a specific area that you wanted it to keep the clearest on your image, you could use the region of interest and it will keep the focal point on that area. The audio section, the audio input does not have a microphone at the camera. You could set one up with the line in, but it does have the outputs. It does have the speaker on the camera, and you can turn the speaker volume up. Under alarm tone at the top, you'll see that these are the different alarms that you can set for the camera. You also can upload your own shortwave file. We'll take a look at these, hear what the alarms are.
Danger. No climbing. Danger zone. Keep away. Deep water. Be cautious. No parking here. Private land. No entry. Sidewalk only. No vehicles. Valuables. Don't touch. Warning zone, keep off. You are under surveillance.
You also can add your own. You can record your voice or upload a WAV file. These cannot be very long. Approximately 10 seconds I found is the limit. We'll close the camera module and the AI module. Under your event module, this is where you can set your motion detection. You can set video detection when you have an IVS rule. If we wanted to set our video detection area, we could enable it, press settings. You can see every place in the red is where the video detection will be active. You also can set the threshold and the sensitivity. And press apply. You also can set the audio linkage and the warning light if you'd like to use it on the video detection. Again, this is under the event module. With this camera, you are able to have the smart motion detection active the same time that you have an IVS active. Under our system module, this is where you can set your date and time. You can choose the different layouts for your time. You can sync with your PC. You can add an account. And also the heater controls are on here. The next page of modules is where you would set your SD card setup and your recording schedule if you were going to do edge recording or record to the SD card within the camera. The maintenance center, this is where you could update the firmware. You download the firmware, select a path, and then update. Now we'll take a look at some of the tracking and nighttime visuals of the camera.